we were targeting 4.0 for something earlier than the end of the year. We are. We are all working towards a release that is sooner than the last week of December, which is I think what a lot of people are saying. Now, is that the same as me saying it's going to be? No, it's not. I don't know when it's going to be. The answer to when it's going to come out is always the same: when we think it's ready. There are invariably somebody that's like, oh, CIG promised. I'm like, that's not the definition of a promise. We told you what we were trying to do, and that's us being honest, and that's us what we're honestly trying to do. Sometimes we just don't make it because that's how game development is.
You got scammed.
Mm-hmm. Everybody here is working very hard to get 4.0 out sooner rather than later. Yeah. The work for 3.24 does not block the work for 4.0. They're in different streams and whatnot. So we're trying real hard to get it out. We want it out.
Now let's take a look at the roadmap roundup. Sorry, I was muted. I didn't want to be laughing so hard over that ridiculousness. Oh, God. All I know, I have not actually seen the roadmap roundup, so I don't know much about the progress tracker changes. It was just unavoidable to see that 4.0 is moving to Q4. And this is just ridiculous. So what's ridiculous is everyone knows that this was going to happen, except for the people that work there, I guess. It's like, well, at this point, now we're going to go, all right, well, it's probably 3.25. So let's just go straight to release view, and then we'll come back to the progress tracker stuff, just because it's fresh in our mind. With this publish, we're adjusting the release window for Alpha 4.0 to Q4 2024. So now we are at the or so part of 12 months for over 50% or nearly 50% of everything that was shown at CitizenCon. Thumbs up, guys. Great job. I do not care what's happening at CitizenCon this year because of that, right? What is there to be excited for anymore? Did everything get slowed down because of work that's going on for CitizenCon? Are all we do is just get marketed to, and we don't make it like it's crazy. Alpha 3.24 and its update to systemic gameplay features has required extra attention to ensure the necessary issues are resolved ahead of release. You know where that attention could have gone? I don't know, maybe into some testing with us that was never done. There was literally no testing that was done with us for 4.0 tech. And I've spoken a million times. Do we really care if the features are in 4.0, or do we care if the tech is stable? And I think a majority of the people in this chat, at least, I don't know if they're just blindly agreeing with me, or I think most humans are capable of thinking for themselves. But allegedly, if I say something, the masses just repeat me no matter what. But I think most people are capable of creating a thought for themselves on this planet, and I think most of us would want 4.0 to the tech to be kind of working. So while work is continuing on 4.0 features and technology simultaneously, we're making this adjustment to release the timing to ensure Alpha 4.0 gets the proper amount of time in testing. Yeah, that would have been nice if we did it at all throughout this year, like we were supposed to. Like the guy who was talking in the beginning said that they would. And then they added the repair, charge, and drain stuff that we saw on ISC last week. The only other thing that I have to say is, then what happens in Q3? What are we doing in Q3? Because what we have right now is not that exciting, right? I think the community is far from excited. The only thing that I am looking at that might be something that is worth I don't know if people will be excited for it, but Jared pointed out that there was going to be some master modes changes coming soon, and that we were going to see them in a few weeks on ISC. So, there might be some changes coming to what we're playing now, but I think most people would agree the foundation of what we're playing now is everything's just up in the air, right? You have the economy team getting their fingers on things, and kind of it's an eighth of done, and it's like kind of breaking things. We'll talk more about the fact that they called the salvage panels a bug a little bit later, when the only bug is the pricing of RMC, in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there. So what happens in Q3? What are we doing after we play 323.2 or 324 or whatever? Are we just going to sit this in testing for even longer? Are they going to add content to it? So I'm a little curious what is kind of happening and what's missing from this, because are we just going to leave this the way it is? That's my main question here. I don't think anybody's surprised that Alpha 4.0 has been pushed again. How many years has it been now that 4.0 is coming soon? So, yeah. Elliot, we'll talk about that in a minute. I don't want to talk about it right now, but yes, I think you'll be here for a few more minutes, right? And we'll talk about the salvage panels. But that is definitely concerning as well. Let's talk about the progress tracker stuff first before we get into that. We're excited to share the updated production schedule on the progress tracker through the end of 2024. We've made some changes to how the roadmap operates, reflecting a more agile approach we're taking as we near major milestones. This has led to a significant shift in how deliverables are tracked, while still offering transparency into our team's focus. We've tweaked the system to give you better insights into what our teams are working on throughout 2024, with 2025 to come. Since Squadron 42 reached feature complete status, sure it did, we've reorganized our teams into cross-discipline groups to prepare for the upcoming milestones, including 4.0. We thought they were mostly coming over to Star Citizen. That was the vibe from CitizenCon. Let me know if you guys felt anything differently. We thought a lot of people were coming, especially designers, stuff like that, were coming over to the PU, and now it's cross-discipline. And I'm hearing more about how they're working on both a lot. So maybe that's not going as planned either. Rather than being tied to specific resources focused on a single deliverable. As a result, deliverables are now tracked by the owner of each feature, which is how they will be displayed on the progress tracker moving forward. Downstream teams like audio, VFX, and others won't be individually represented as their work is integrated into the main objective. So it sounds like the objective is the main feature now on the progress tracker, and the owner is how you search for it. This streamlined approach also makes it easier to find relevant teams, with these new groups now featured at the top of the list. I guess it kind of, the gameplay feature team or whatever encapsulates like a million different devs, right? Including downstream teams, I think. These new groups encompass all the disciplines previously displayed on the progress tracker, and we've adjusted how production schedules are tracked to accommodate the need for flexibility. Instead of pinpointing individual developers, we're using placeholder headcounts and disciplines for each deliverable. So we no longer know what the headcounts are or anything like that. With this update, we're adding the core gameplay pillar, character art, and tech teams, both vehicle content teams, and the locations pillar to the progress tracker. Additional teams and deliverables will be added over time. Plus, as we continue refining the production schedule for 2025, we'll populate additional teams, groups, content, and of course, make sure to tune in for CitizenCon, less than 2 months away. Okay. Are there milestones for 1.0 on the progress tracker? Somebody DM'd me. I think it was RoboClaw. Thank you, by the way. All the features for 4.0, so I can kind of like go down them, but I don't care. Like I'm gonna do it, but this is not a major change to I don't think anything really. Right? The progress tracker looks the same. The lines end. All the problems with it still persist. And we waited 8 months or more, something like that, for this. So in the end, for me, I don't know how you guys. Yeah, it's all back end changes, but they were touting how it was going to be, upfront changes and all these things, and it just wasn't. And it is upfront changes in terms of like, all right, well, yeah, now the core gameplay pillar, look at how many things they cover, right? Wow, lots of stuff. Okay. But I think all the problems with this roadmap still persist. I still think it's going to create unrealistic expectations for people, and it is not a progress tracker. It still is just not a progress tracker. So I don't know. I think we could take a peek at I don't know, maybe like a few things that might make sense. Base building was on that list. Apparently not, unless it's am I doing something wrong here? Deliverables, yes. Base building. There we go. 45 weeks. And it just ends here. It doesn't end anywhere else. What else do we have that might be interesting? New player experience. More new player experience. So continuing on with that, even though it's already released. It ends in October, so I don't think so. Maybe, who knows? Oh, vehicle scanning. Just scanning in general. Wow, I can't type today. Vehicle and radar scanning, 40 weeks. But it ends sometime in November, early November or something like that. I don't think yeah, you want me to look up crafting? Oh, shit. Again, just ends at a time that it won't end, most likely. And it's very basic what it says there. So people are going to use this. They're going to look up, and guess when things are done. I don't know if Shiny Hobo can still do his thing. If you guys are familiar with him, he extracted data that was unseen here and used. Is it QT or quantum travel? Quantum travel experience goes until next year. So I don't know. You have to go to his website. I don't follow the roadmap in this way. So it's just I would say this is not anything. This isn't news to me. It's not news to me. It's way more news that Squadron is, or that 4.0 is delayed. That's way more news. And I don't know what to be other than disappointed. And I don't know what anybody expects me to be other than disappointed. So yeah, I'm just over it, and I don't care. And I'm tired of being strung along by these people, and then we've been strung along the entire year until October just to be strung along again. I'm not falling for it this year. I'm not falling for the bullshit this year. That's it. There's nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say. You need to do things. You need to stop saying you're going to do things. The beginning of this video, I guess, is is all about how we continue to say to do things and we don't do them, and that's it. So I just can't do it anymore. It's getting so ridiculous at this point. Make the game, and we're being held up by other bullshit that is not involving the game anymore, and it's sad. How much work is going into CitizenCon that has slowed down stuff? How have we not tested 4.0 yet this entire year? It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, at this point, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. It's funny. And then they get upset when we make jokes about them, but they continue to be a joke. So stop making jokes, make some good stuff, and you won't be considered a joke anymore. That's just kind of how that is going to work. It's pretty simple, guys. You can't expect your community to not be upset with you. And I hope everyone's getting cooked on this. And I hope they learn a lesson, but I think we all know they won't, because CitizenCon will roll around, a bunch of new people will come in, buy everything up to a Caterpillar, and that'll be that.